McRae. Thank you guys for joining me. And I am here because I am showcasing those beginning actors who are having a wealth of questions about how to get started in the industry. And I know it's a lot going on. It's a lot of information that may come to you and flood your timelines, flood your emails, all that good stuff. But I want to be a resource, and I'm also having guests like Chantal Maurice, which you guys will meet, who's going to assist you guys in some very quality information. So, as you can see, so you want to be an actor, I will be debuting a ebook, audiobook, manual handbook as a resource to you. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I wanted to provide you guys with some answers. Right? So thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and jump right in. So, yes. Chantal Maurice. I'll let her introduce herself because she has a laundry list as for a resume. So I'll let her chime in with that. But again, we wanted to showcase for all of you all who are beginning actors, parents who have child actors, anyone who is kind of in the gray area about what in the world does this industry provide for you. We wanted to streamline those questions, and we'll kind of break these things up, so just don't forget to continue to follow. We'll give you more details and information about upcoming guests, but as of today, we have such a beautiful treat, right?
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming and appearing. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do, where you're from.
I'm Chantal Maurice, and I've been acting since I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
Whew, all right.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh. I've been acting since I was 10. I started out in theater, musical theater. I started training musical theater. I went to a performing arts high school. So I got all that musical theater training. College, I majored in theater, and I got tired of doing musical theater. Mm-hmm. I got tired of being singing in the background, if you will.
Right.
I wanted to really act. I felt like with musical theater, I wasn't really getting an opportunity to like really act. It was just more like performance-wise, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But so while I was in college, I ventured outside of the school, and I looked for different audition opportunities for short films, for independent films. I wanted on-camera work.
Right.
And at that time, my school did not have on-camera classes. It was all theater. Mm-hmm. But the teacher who came in my freshman year was from Columbia University, and he implemented some on-camera work. So that was great. Mm-hmm. After college, moved to New York. I trained at the New York Conservatory of Dramatic Arts. Mm-hmm. I started working at a acting studio in Times Square, TVI Actor Studio. That's where I learned the business. So I got a chance to work with casting directors. Mm-hmm. And working there, I got to participate in their conservatory programs. Mm-hmm. So I worked with teachers who were Yale trained, Juilliard trained, all types of different classes I was able to take. So, the theater training, the conservatory training, and then like the independent acting studio classes. Mm-hmm. I did all of that, trained with so many different people. And I started auditioning. I had no clue on how to get started when I was in New York. I knew that I knew how to be on stage. Mm-hmm. I knew that I knew how to do, musicals, and that I was a pretty decent actor on camera, but I didn't have a ton of experience on camera. And so I just started trial and error, flailing, like looking up stuff, submitting, going on auditions, like just trying to figure it out, getting headshots, not really sure what that was like. Received so many different views as far as advice, like, well, you need to look like this in your headshot, and your hair needs to be like this, and and that was also in a different time, especially for Black women on television. There wasn't a lot of variety when it came to Black women in television. So at that point, a lot of the advice I was getting was like, you need straight black hair, you need to give off a Sinalatin essence, you need to, because they were trying to say, well, this is what's working, so you need to fit into this box of what's working. And so of course I tried it, I got different managers, got different agents, and just really not sure. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to figure it out. But I started booking. So it's like I started booking, and I still had so many questions. I was like, I wish that there was a woman, specifically a Black woman, that I could talk to, that I could just ask questions to. Because I'm like, even though I'm working, and it's like, at that time in New York, like, people spent 10 years to book a co-star. Yeah. It's very different now. But it's like, the actors in the community, the actors that I knew, like you would put in work for 5 to 10 years before you booked your first television role.
Yeah.
So I was blessed to be booking these, small co-star roles on these huge shows, but I had so many questions. I didn't have guidance. So that's where I got the idea to start my own acting studio, co-star coaching, because it was something that I wish that I had at that time.
Yeah.
And a friend was joking around with me, and he was like kind of throwing shade, but kind of like being funny. And he was just like, well, you're the queen of the co-stars. Because at a certain point in New York, I think I had booked like 7.
Wow.
And again, at that time, it wasn't easy to come by. Like it isn't like it is now. And so I took pride in booking those co-stars. So when I was trying to come up with a name, I'm like, okay, my name starts with a C, Chantal. He says I'm the queen of co-stars, co-star coaching. Right. So that's where the name came of co-star coaching with my acting studio. And that's where, I realized that, like, okay, I'm blessed to be booking and be gaining experience and knowledge. But a lot of the purpose of it is for me to be able to share it. Because I went through so much in the beginning stages of my career with different productions and just, becoming SAG and so many different things. And I'm like, why does this journey feel so difficult? Yeah. And then later on, I realized that it was because the lessons that I learned are to help other people. Right. So that's my teaching methods come from my experience. They come from, I feel like all actors should have their own toolkit. That's why it's important for you to train with different people. Study, whether it's a conservatory, whether it's independent acting studios, whether it's community theater. All of that is so important because it goes into your toolbox. And then now you as an actor, you have your own toolbox. So I teach from my toolbox, my experience. And so it's like, hey, if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, that's good too. But you want to find somebody where their coaching style or their teaching style resonates with you. So, and as far as like my resume, at this point, I think I've booked over 20 TV shows. Ranging from co-stars, recurring co-stars, guest stars, recurring guest stars, and now series regular role. I've done feature films. Most of my work is in television, but I do have some feature films under my belt. A lot of Christmas movies, ironically. I've got a Hallmark Christmas movie, Last Vermont Christmas, Holiday Heartbreak, that's on Tubi, starring Country Wayne, Michael Collier, AJ Johnson, and Lisa Ray McCoy. Christmas Deja Vu, starring Loretta Devine and Amber Riley. So yeah, just different TV shows. I started off doing Younger, which was on TV Land, Blue Bloods, Quantico, Mr. Robot, Teenage Bounty Hunters, Queen Sugar, Queen of the South. I can't remember.
This the person to follow, AKA.
I can't remember a lot of them off the top of my head, but Grey's Anatomy. So I booked a good amount of television, and I use my experience when I coach and work with other actors.
Right. So it sounds to me that you just have to make a choice. You have to just see something that you want and just put one foot in front of the other. Because it sounds like you are part of the musical theater, that community, but it was just, I want more. So in order to get from this corner of the industry and I want to go over there, I have to at least start movement.
Yes.
So, like, explain to the newbies, or those who are green, what does the very first day of the decision look like for you?
That's a great question.
First hour, like, I'm about to do this. Now what?
So I think for me it's a little different because that decision came, I think I was like 6 years old. As an entertainer. Like I used to dance, I used to sing. So it was always like, I never had another choice. I don't know, I know a lot of people, their stories differ from that. Like it's like, I went somewhere else, I was a nurse, I was this, and then I wanted to be an actor. I never, in my brain, just because I was always performing as a child, there was no option. I think the closest I had to like a plan B was in college because you had to have a major and a minor, so you kind of have to. So I was like, okay, well, communications, and if I'm not able to be an actor, then I'll be a publicist, type of a thing. But I think that it is, for those of you who are out there who are thinking about becoming an actor, that first step looks like, is this what I love? I think that that's the first decision that has to be made, because you really have to love this. If it's for the fame, if it's for the recognition, if it's for the validation, if it's for popularity, there are a lot of other things that you can do to get those things.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think acting isn't one of them.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can get fame, popularity, validation from acting, but 95% of the people who pursue this as a career, they don't actually reach that level of celebrity. It's a very different thing. So if that's what you want, go do something else that will probably get you there faster than becoming a working actor. So I think the first step is, do I love this? And what is your why? There always has to be a why, something that's driving you and pushing you forward and keeping you going when you continue to get those no's from agents, when casting directors aren't calling you in, when you don't have the money to take professional headshots, when you feel like you've been putting in time, energy, and effort and your career is not moving forward. There has to be a why and something that keeps you going. So I think the first step is, do I love this and why? What is my why? What is going to keep me going during those times where I'm not booking anything? What is going to keep me going when I feel like everybody is surpassing me and I'm being left left behind? What is it that's going to keep you going? Because if you don't have that, you won't last long pursuing this. So I think that that's like the first thing that you have to kind of be aware of. Once you're like, you know what, no, I really do love this, or I'm not sure if I love it yet, but I'm willing to try, and this is my why. Give it a shot. But like you said, putting one step in front of the other is important, but you've got to be consistent with it. You've got to stay consistent.
Right. And what would you say to the person? We're surrounded by education, and we're surrounded by a lot of people who they're the first to do it. And we are surrounded with, just an age of go to school to do this and go to school to do that, because that's the traditional mindset. If you're in a traditional family, everyone has gone to college for something. You want to go be an engineer, go to college. You want to be a teacher, go to college. A nurse, college. What would you say about that person? Well, do I have to go to school for acting? Like, what do I need to do first? Because no one in my family or in my support group, my friends, no one else is an actor or creative. So where do I start with that?
So I was in that. That was me. No one in my family was in entertainment. No one, it was just me trying to figure stuff out. Do I think that you have to go to college for acting? No. Do I think that you need to major in theater? No. Do I think that you need to go to some type of school and training? Absolutely. And again, you find what works best for you. For some people, they're only going to be able to afford classes at a community theater. And that's okay. That's a start. For other people, they can find independent acting studios. Some people are gonna, get online and buy a master class with an actor, and they're gonna try it online. So I think, yes, you do need training, and you need multiple forms of training. Like, one class is not going to last you your entire career. You train for different levels of your career. So at the beginning stages, find someone. I think being on stage is one of the best forms of training that there is, because there's nothing like being on stage. It teaches you something that you cannot learn in a class, personally.
No take after take after take. It's
no,
live.
Right. So you've got to, I think being on stage develops you as an artist.
Right.
It develops you as an artist and gives you the confidence that you need to now transition to being on camera. So, if you are like, I don't know anybody that does this, I haven't seen anybody become a professional working actor, I had to go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to move to New York and just pursue my career. My dad was like, no, you are going to be like, neither one of my parents graduated from college. So it was like, you're going to college. And because of money reasons, I also couldn't go to a school that had like an amazing performing arts program. So I felt like, dang, now I got to spend 4 years at a school, but I made the best of it. So I went to that school and I did all the plays. I did all the musical theater. Even though I knew that that's not what I wanted, I used that as training. So that was a training ground for me to transition to on camera. So I don't think that you necessarily have to go to college, but I do think that training is essential. You have to train and you have to learn what it is you're doing. And it's important to have people who know what they're doing to pour into you, because you can fall into many different pitfalls and traps and because you don't know. So the training is definitely important. Like, learn what you're doing, and then, like I said, train with different people, try different things. If you can afford to go to a conservatory, sure, do that. If you can't, that's fine. Go to a community college, take some classes there, find an independent acting studio nearby. Do whatever it is that you can, and continue to train with different people. You know, like, don't get caught up in just being with one teacher or one coach, or, you know, like, learn from them, take what resonates with you, put it in your toolkit, and move on and find somebody else.
Right. And that was really good, and I appreciate, you know, that angle, that take. There have also been quite a few, I would say, silver foxes or baby boomers that are like, oh, I've been a teacher for 31 years, and now I've been brought to, I did one commercial, and now I just feel all, you know, the adrenaline rush, and I think I want to do this acting thing. Is it too late? Like, what is the response for our older market?
It's never too late, because when you look at movies, when you look at television, it reflects real life. So, you know, it's not that there's roles for, I feel like there are roles for everybody, especially now that more people are having an opportunity to tell their stories and get their films made. I don't think that it's ever too late. What I think is important for people to think about is, do I want this? Is this a hobby? Because it's totally fine for it to be a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. Is this a hobby? Is this part-time or is this full-time? What is my goal? And I think that sometimes everybody thinks that it has to be a full-time goal, and that may not be the case.
That may not be the case.
You can do this as a hobby and do a play here or there, do a commercial, you can do it part-time or you can do it full-time. There are 3 different goals. So I think you have to look at your life, what works best for you, and then, you know, what it is that you want. But I would never say that it's too late for anyone to do this.
Right. And to the parents out there, I know it's a lot of parents out there that have, you know, had several questions about your children, and, you know, just kind of being just drowned, information overload with so many things that are going on. And, you know, there seems to be this rumor floating around about the only way I'm going to be able to work is if I have an agent. Can you speak to that?
So yes, actually I can. I think I've had I'm trying to think of how many agents I've had thus far in my career, maybe like 5 different agents. You have to learn how to be your own agent first before any reputable or worthy agent will pick you up. Meaning that, because a lot of times people go to agents with a very pick-me energy. Like, I'm talented, I love to act, sign me. Or my kid is cute, my kid can remember lines, can you sign us? Because, you know, a lot of times people think, well, the only way I can get the opportunity, similar to what you said, is if I have an agent. So that's yes and. Agents, their job is to submit their clients, submit their talent to casting directors for opportunities in television shows and movies. But you can also book work without having an agent.
Say that again. Please say that again.
You can, and you must. Before you get an agent, you have to book work, and you can book work without having an agent. So that's why I say you have to be your own agent before going to an agent to collaborate with them. So Actors Access, that's you being your own agent. You put up your headshots on there, your credits, your special skills, all that stuff, and you submit yourself to projects. So yes, there are casting directors that are casting for big TV shows and big blockbuster films, but there are also independent filmmakers, award-winning independent filmmakers, student filmmakers, just people, productions, writers, directors, producers who put things on Actors Access where that you can submit, or you can submit for your child. So I think that if your first step should never be to get an agent, because you've got to do the work first. You need to go to an agent and show them that I'm bookable. Why? I've booked this. I've done this. My headshots are professional. No agent wants to take on a talent that's a project. So you come to me.
Developmental.
Yeah, I'm an agent. I don't have time to develop you. So if you come to me and you're like, well, I know I don't have professional headshots yet, but my friend who's a photographer took these and this is what I have. And okay, well, I can't do anything with that. You come to me already having professional headshots. You come to me already knowing who you are and where you fit into this industry. Because otherwise, you're coming to me being like, hey, get me work. Instead of you coming to me saying, hey, this is my age range. This is the type that I play. These are the kind of roles that I can play. These are women who are already working, who or I have a similar essence to, and I can, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's all about business and making money. So you got to show me that I can make money by collaborating with you. And if you come to me with nothing, you're not showing me anything. So you have to be your own agent at first. You've got to network. You've got to meet people in your area, in your community, who are filmmakers, who know filmmakers, who you can get on set, you can get experience. So you need to have a resume. You need to have experience before you try to reach out to an agent. The only time that may be a little different is with children. But you still need to have professional headshots. The child still needs to know, understand what a monologue is, what a scene is. They still need to have some training. Unless it's a baby. I think babies are the only people who don't need training. And even then, there may be a class that you can put your baby in. I don't know. But yeah, so I definitely think that you have to learn how to manage your own career and be your own agent, get yourself opportunities so that when you present yourself to an agent, you are an attractive client that they will want to sign and they will want to work with.
Right. That was good as well. And just a couple more questions. So also in relation to just the reality of just meeting financial ends and means for this this dream, this career, just developing yourself. What's the realism of saying that I have this much money and I'm going to kind of skimp out on $300 headshots and just find a photographer that I know to shoot my headshots because somebody said just have a picture of your face, so I'm just going to get a picture of my face. Like, what is your take on being able to afford, accumulate or budget for things, or just getting it done, kind of cutting the corner a little bit, getting it done because at least I have it. What is the whole, explain maybe the evolution of the financial strain of what really takes place that people don't tell y'all.
So that's very interesting. I remember when I moved to New York and I needed new headshots. And I was saving up for a very popular headshot photographer. But in the meantime, I was doing a showcase and I needed pictures. And my boyfriend at the time took my pictures and I edited them and I printed them out at CVS. I don't think that there's a specific or one answer to that. I think it depends on you and where you are.
Right.
So what I will say is never sacrifice food, bills, lights, never sacrifice the things that you need on a day-to-day for marketing materials as an actor or for classes. Never. I would not sacrifice, of course you could sacrifice vacations or splurging on different things, but you gotta eat, your bills gotta be paid, you need gas in your car, because without those life essentials, you actually can't even function correctly.
Right.
So then you don't really have anything to give to your career. So you've got to be a full functioning human to be able to pursue this career. So I personally would not sacrifice anything that's going to impede on your mental health for the career, because we need you whole.
Right.
And I'm speaking from someone who did that. I did that, and I just don't think that it's necessary.
Yeah.
So I do think that it is important to go to professional classes, to take headshots with someone that may be $700 to $1,000, because at a certain level in your career. So if you're just starting out and you're I'm trying to network, I'm trying to build my resume, let somebody take your pictures. They still need to meet standard, meaning we don't need a whole bunch of headroom, meaning your face needs to be the center. We don't need a lot of distractions in the background, but you can do that on your own. Right. You can do that with somebody who can has a camera and you can take a decent photo.
Right.
But in addition to that, be patient with yourself. Take the time that you need to save up for, the actual headshot photographer, to, get the actor's access profile if you're unable to do it. So I think that it's a balance that you have to have, because you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You have to take care of yourself because you are your vessel as an actor. So if you sacrifice and now you're not taking care of yourself to become an actor, well, now your acting's going to suffer because your vessel isn't full. Your vessel, you're not taking care of yourself that way. So I think that you have to balance it. Do what you need to do to make ends meet. And that's why I also said that it's okay that you don't jump out the gate and pursue this full time. That's totally fine. You know, you can do this when you have the time, when you have the resources. So if you know you're going into the beginning of the year and you're like, okay, I need professional headshots and I want to take a professional acting class this year, right? Start off with the goals that are small. They don't have to be grandiose goals. So you say, okay, this headshot photographer, I can do 2 looks for $650. This acting teacher that I want to take class with is $325. Figure out how to make that work for you. And by the end of the year, you can get that done. But if you say, I want professional headshots, I'm going to get an agent, I'm going to travel and work as a local, like, you just be very specific with the goals. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, but I think where I am now, I would tell people just to take care of you and your vessel first. Don't sacrifice anything that's going to impede on your mental health.
Yeah. And I also think, and that was good, I also think different strokes for different folks. So y'all stop coming to me about Taraji P. Henson moved to California with $700. It's different strokes, different times, different things for different people. But yeah, never go into a situation needing them. You know, let them know that they need you. But you can't go in there with a starving, energetic aura.
Because you give off desperate energy.
You definitely give
If you can't pay your rent and you at an you're auditioning for something,
I need this.
You thinking this is gonna change my life. This is gonna be it. I'm gonna make it big. I'm gonna be acting next to Denzel. I gotta book this role. And then you don't, you know what I mean? Like that you're not even really focusing. You're not present in the material because you're so busy focused on, if I book this, my life's going to change. If I book this, then I'm going to be happy. No, you need to be happy now. Because all the money and the fame is going to do is just magnetize whatever you're already feeling and experiencing.
Right.
So
that was so good. So last but not least, got something else for y'all. So we're on set right now. And that is a new actor. And she's approaching you. Okay. And she says, you know what? He or she. I've heard so much about you. Oh my gosh. I aspire to be just like you. This is my first day doing this. Someone gave me a chance. What will be your moment of motivation for her? Or a seed of inspiration for her?
Yeah.
Well, her.
Well, first, you here. We on set together.
Yeah.
So, congratulations. That's first thing.
That's the first
You know what I mean?
You made it through how many people?
Right. You are here.
Yeah.
And I would also thank that person, for acknowledging me and, so thank you for that. And, what would I say? Because I'm like, if we on set, I'm like, how much time do I actually have to talk to this person? So let's say we have time.
We had to break for lunch.
We're breaking, and we're chatting. I think I would ask them goals. What is it that you want from this? What is it that you aspire? Like what is that thing, that role or that project or, what is it, or that charity that you want to help? What is it that is driving you or motivating you to continue in this? And I would listen. I would listen to them, and I would, if they had any questions, I would answer any questions that they may have. But as far as motivating them to continue going, it's just like, we as actors, the beauty of this is that there's no expiration on, like, it's not like somebody says, okay, and your SAG card is cut off, you can no longer be an actor. Right. We can do this for as long as we want.
Right.
So, congratulating them, seeing if they had any questions for me, and just motivating or encouraging them that, like, you're on the journey. How does it feel?
Yeah.
Remember how this moment feels. Remember how this booking feels. Remember how grateful you are right now, because there's going to come a time where you're like, I ain't booked nothing and da-da-da-da. I'm tired of booking these kind of roles. This is the only thing that they see me for. Remember this gratitude. Yeah. Remember this moment, because this is what's going to propel you to the next level. Because I meet so many actors where I work with them, I coach them. A lot of the times they don't have an agent. They don't have a resume. And we work years. I help them. They reach out to agents. They land an agent. 1 year, 2 years later, they come back, they got an attitude.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with this agent no more. This agent is this. But there was a time when all you wanted was to sign with this agent.
Yeah.
You got that. You got opportunities.
Yeah.
You booked jobs, but you forgot that. You forgot that gratitude.
Yeah.
So I think I would just encourage them to remember this moment and remember how grateful you were when your agent or manager reached out to you and said you booked this project.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that feeling of gratitude, because
Right.
it's going to go a long way and you're going to need it to propel you to the next step.
That was good. Yes. And guess what? She does this all the time. So if you need any consulting, go ahead and share all of your information, social media handles, and how they can contact you.
Yes. So you can reach out, costarcoaching.biz. I, along with my associate Hadi Matthias, we offer audition coaching, career consultations, private coaching, and acting classes. So, and it's also some merch. So, you can always pick up some merch, because I'm real big on the history and learning and understanding the people who paved the way for us to be able to do what we do.
Yes.
So, check us out. And you can follow us on Instagram, costar_coaching. And I'm on Instagram, chantalmaurice.com. Chantal, not Chantel. We don't tell, because snitches get what? Stitches. All right.
This was so fun. And as you can see, there's so much energy amongst us because we really, really nurture this craft. We love it. We're passionate about it. And if you want to be at that same position and that same point, you'll get there. It's not a microwave. It really, truly is a marathon. So hang in there. And if you need more resources, you can hit this one up.
Or this one. Both resources.
Either of us.
That's right.
Either of us. All right. So thank y'all for joining us. And we will talk to you guys soon.
So you want to be an actor. Say you want to be an actor. So you want to be an actor. Say you want to be